Getting into the video, as you can tell by the thumbnail on your screen, we're going to be going over the Tennessee Titans 2022 preseason preview for you Titans fans out there. Don't worry, guys, we didn't forget about you. It's kind of hard to forget about the AFC champions or the AFC South champions. Kind of hard to forget about those guys. But before we get into it, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn that notification bell on so you're notified anytime that we upload one of these great videos. Let's go!
I lost gang members, I can't act cool. I got gang scriptures in my tattoos. I was running from the police in my trap shoes. Posted trying to flip 100, I come back fool. Come from nothing, but I blossomed to a tycoon. Betrayal scars, can't stop thinking about them stab wounds. We might not catch him today, but he gon' die soon.
Starting off with last season's stats, like we always like to do, we always like to go over what they were ranked and how many points they gave up and how many points they scored and also their record. So starting off last year, they were 12-5. They were also the AFC champions, so I was not wrong in that aspect either. Best record in the AFC last season, they were 15th in points scored with 419, and they were 6th allowed with 345 points. And these stats are provided to you today by PFF.com. If you like PFF.com, good for you. If you don't, well then, I'm sorry. Don't care. All right, they were the 14th overall team, according to PFF. They had the tied 13th best offense. They were the 11th best defense, and they were tied 8th in special teams. That sounds like an AFC champion to me.
Sounds like a repeat of the 2022 AFC South champions again, back to back.
It will be good enough for that one for sure.
Can't wait to see that one. But let's see who they got rid of though, Mikey. Who left? Who do they just? No, we don't need you guys anymore.
I'll go over the big ones here. They also have a kind of a long list here, but obviously we'll let the cat out of the bag here first. AJ Brown, he is gone. He is now with the Philadelphia Eagles via the trade in the draft that went down and occurred. Julio Jones is also gone. He is now with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Chester Rogers, you guys' kick returner, he is gone. Jack Rabbit Jenkins, he is gone. He is a free agent still, sadly. You guys also lost Roger Saffold, you guys' guard. He has moved on to the Bills. Anyone else really? Deontay Foreman, he is now with the Panthers. And
Rashawn Evans.
Rashawn Evans, he is now with the Falcons. We'll put the whole list up for you guys on the screen. You don't got to worry about that. So you guys can look at the whole list yourself. But those are the main ones that you guys have offloaded or didn't re-sign or whatever you did to them.
And it's now time for my favorite game. Michael, where did the fullback that went to the Bears? Who is that?
The fullback that went to the Bears?
Yeah, it's on the list right above Deontay Foreman.
Oh. Kerry Blasingame.
There you go.
One.
I was gonna say real quick, Jack Rabbit Jenkins is Janoris Jenkins for people that don't know that nickname for him.
Oh yeah.
Well, Jack Rabbit's cooler.
But kind of going over those significant ones, the two linemen that both went to the Bills, Saffold and Questenberry, that's kind of a huge dent, especially since it's like all Derrick Henry is how that offense runs through. You need that offensive line, and you guys already lost Jack Conklin a couple years ago. Now you're losing two more guys. So kind of interested to see how that continues to go, as well as how this passing game goes. You lost AJ Brown and Julio Jones. Julio Jones, he's a big name, but he really didn't do much for you guys. But it's still somebody that people had to look after when you guys were playing. But getting into who you guys picked up, I'll take that really quick. You guys did re-sign Harold Landry, 5 years, $87 million. Good for you guys. He's really good. You locked up your kicker again, Randy Bullock. You locked up the center, Ben Jones, brother from another mother here. Jeff Swaim, he was also re-signed. Dontre Hilliard, really happy he's still playing in the NFL. Good for him. He got his money. Wait. Olas
Alyssa
Alyssa
Cammy.
Olasa Economy. No, Olasa Economy Adeniyi.
Sure.
Damn, I'm really good at this.
What a name.
Yeah, and then Greg Mabin as well.
Whatever happened to John Smith, huh? Come on, people.
Dan
Bro.
Smith.
Dan Smith.
He's still playing at BYU. And then players acquired from like trade or signings. Not a big list. We'll throw that up there. Robert Woods, wide receiver from the Rams. I thought that was a really good trade. That adds a layer of wide receiver play that you guys didn't have with Julio Jones out onto the field. You guys picked up Jamarco Jones, the offensive lineman from the Seahawks. So obviously, Seahawks offensive lineman is going to be really good. So that's a great pickup. AJ Moore, the safety from the Texans, and then Trenton Cannon, the special teamer from the 49ers. And then you guys also traded for Austin Hooper from the Cleveland Browns, which thank you guys for taking that awful fucking salary. And I have no idea why you guys would want this. I like pretty much all the moves you guys have made, but that one makes no sense to me. And, you know, reading down some like player breakdowns and people are like excited about like Austin Hooper, like, oh, it's like under the radar. He could be good. He's a good pass catcher or whatever. This dude was literally tackled by blades of grass more than fucking like teams tackled him last year. This guy is zero yak. He will catch the ball, and you will find out that he will find a way to, no matter what the kind of pass is, to turn his back to the end zone and diving catch backwards every pass. It could be an out route, and he'll find a way to fall on his back. Like, I seriously infuriating watching this player play football.
Watch him.
Him as a person is really great. He's actually a really good guy.
Let's say watch him.
I got to
blow up
meet him
this
in
season.
Cleveland a couple years ago. Potentially, but I mean, honestly, no. There's no chance. Like, he had some athleticism back in Atlanta. He does not have that anymore. It looks like his knees are shot when he plays. It's really bad. I don't get, like, some hype about it. Honestly, I really don't. This is coming from somebody that had to watch him for 3 years. I hope he does do well for you guys, because anything for the Titans doing good is really helpful for our channel, because it makes Dylan upset. And we can tell you why, because he's gonna enjoy this draft process that you guys had. So we'll turn it over to him. Who did you guys pick up in the draft?
Yeah, so with the Titans, as Gage probably alluded to, actually had a decent draft. I'm a big draft nut, as you know, we are here on this channel. So we spent a lot of time talking about potential players, and Treylon Burks shuffled around our top wide receiver collectively as a channel. But the Tennessee Titans traded with the Eagles. They took off A.J. Brown, decided to put Treylon Burks in there instead, which a lot of people use them to kind of compare each other. Treylon Burks plays similarly to A.J. Brown in some aspects. So a very polarizing pick, trade, and, you know, all the move altogether is very polarizing, but it all depends on how Treylon Burks develops. I don't think he's expected to be A.J. Brown year 4 in his rookie year, but he's expected to develop into a very useful wide receiver, especially with the way offenses are moving. It could be a very good pick here. I honestly don't think it was smart to go with Treylon Burks over A.J. Brown. I would prefer to pay players that are already good rather than, you know, one in the hand is better than two in the bush. All right, so the other picks that they have are also really good. Roger McCreary is a very technical cornerback. He's not an imposing size or imposing speed, or I think he even has shorter arms, but he makes up for that, and he's a very good corner. So a nice little addition to the secondary that's already good in Tennessee.
He's got T-Rex arms.
Yeah.
Literally bottom 1 percentile.
Yeah, for real. And then third round, the 69th overall pick,
Nice.
Nicholas Petit-Frere, out of Ohio State. You'd think a tackle coming from Ohio State would go a little bit higher. I think he has the right size, and I think being in that offensive line, he'll get a lot of work, especially with I'm spacing on his name, Taylor Lewan there. I think he'll kind of help him pick up the tackle position a little bit better. And then in the third round, they got Malik Willis, where a lot of people had projected him being the best quarterback out of the entire draft. So a sneaky, addition there to that quarterback room. Caused some controversy in the offseason. Overall, in the third round, you can't hate the upside Malik Willis brings you. So, get him in the system, and hopefully you can develop him into a quarterback. But he's not ready right now for sure. The other picks I'll try to go through a little bit quicker. Hassan Haskins, running back out of Michigan, had some great games last year in college. I think he'll be a good fail-safe in case the injuries with Derrick Henry, nag him or anything like that. It'll be nice to have young legs behind him, and even just to spell him so he's not the main focus of that entire offense. And then Chigo Okonkwo of Maryland is one of the fastest tight ends that has come through the draft. I think he'll be really fun. I think he's very similar to who's the tight end that the Patriots just got from the Titans?
Jonnu Smith.
Jonnu Smith. Is that who I'm thinking of, or is there another tight end that was really fast there? I don't know. Anyways, very fast wide receiver. I think he'll be fun to kind of gadget around him as a tight end. And then my favorite, but also my most hated pick in the entire draft for the Titans is Kyle Phillips in the 5th round. I thought he was a 2nd to 3rd round type of wide receiver. He looks extremely good in off-season work right now, and I think he'll be an extremely productive slot wide receiver, and he's going to be a nightmare to go up against. I think his footwork is probably one of the best in the entire draft, and he's quick too. So I have a lot of high praise for Kyle Phillips. Go and look at anything on Twitter for his off-season stuff. You'll be amazed on what this guy does, and he's not getting talked about at all. So I really love Kyle Phillips. And then the rest are most likely backup and special team types with Theo Jackson, a defensive back, and Chance Campbell as an inside linebacker, which day 3 picks are always a gamble. But, I do really like this draft, but I hate that the Titans had it.
Yeah, Dylan literally in our group chat, like probably every other day, I just continue to hate this Kyle Phillips pick every single time. And here's another clip, and here's another clip. Like, dude, we don't have to play the Titans. We don't care. We know he's your favorite player. We'll buy you a jersey. That's okay. But that kind of wraps up what you guys did this off season, and that kind of moves on to this upcoming season. We kind of like to, see if your team's going to do better, worse, just say about the same based on what you guys did last year. Obviously, you guys won were the first seed, and you guys were 12-5, and then kind of had a stinker in the playoffs, round 1. So we'll kind of get into that, and then I just have a couple questions for you guys, like open up, and then we'll talk about them. How is this team going to do now that they've gotten rid of their best offensive weapon? In the receiving game with A.J. Brown, right? Like, he was the only player that they had that was able to spread that offense around, that likes to run the ball. And you can only put so many players in the box before it's, like, too much. Like, are they going to be able to spread that offense out a little bit more? Second question, do you think Derrick Henry comes back, or are you guys nervous with his foot injury? Is that going to be a big deal? And then I'll let you guys go ahead and take it from there. Those are kind of the 2 questions I have with this team.
Dylan, you're first, buddy.
All right.
You're the expert.
So, I'll be honest. I am so happy A.J. Brown is out of the AFC South. Dude, A.J. Brown is a matchup nightmare because of his size and speed and everything like that. And it was a dumbass move for the Titans to get rid of him. Treylon Burks might be good, and he might be a decent wide receiver. I think he's more of a yak guy, like a Deebo Samuel. But A.J. Brown was a yak guy. He was a route guy. He was a go route guy. And you can even give him handoffs, and he's going to take it a few yards and, maybe even pop a big run. A.J. Brown could have done it all for you guys. And instead of paying him the going rate for a wide receiver, like, it's not like he's asking to be paid $35 million a year. It's the going rate. You decided to trade him for Treylon Burks, who may be good, who might be similar to A.J. Brown. I love that move for the Titans because that was just I think it was just so dumb to do. Just not a great move. And then on top of that, you lost your right guard, your right tackle. You're going to count on Dylan Ray Dunes from North Dakota State, if I'm not mistaken, and then some random guy at right guard. It's not going to look good for Derrick Henry if that's the case. Taylor Lewan is even on the down slope. So you got Ben Jones and not much else on that line other than Taylor Lewan. Um, about that situation. What I'm not happy about is their defense is really good. Um, uh, I'm spacing on their defensive tackle, Jeff Simmons. He's a beast. I think he's gonna wreck things. Secondary is really tough, and they have a pretty decent linebacking core. So their defense is gonna suck, but their offense, I don't think Robert Woods and Treylon Burks makes up for whatever AJ Brown gave you.
Mikey?
Well, I'm the complete opposite. No, I'm just kidding. No, yeah, getting rid of A.J. Brown was very, very, very questionable. But I'm not going to be as harsh as Dylan. I think Robert Woods and Treylon Burks won't be as bad as Dylan's kind of making out to be. I mean, obviously, it's no
I didn't say
replacement.
he was gonna be bad. I didn't say he was gonna be bad.
I just feel like you were saying it wasn't going to be close.
You might get that out of him is the thing. Like you might get AJ
Yeah.
Brown out of him. You just don't know.
I think it could be comparable. But it's two
It could
going
be.
up against the one. I'm not just putting Treylon Burks in that. But I think getting like Robert Woods and having Treylon Burks and then also having Kyle Phillips that is probably going to be the slot guy on that team. Having those three guys on that offense, I mean, you don't know about them a lot right now, but I think they will make a lot of teams pay early on because they won't really know what they're all about. So I think they can get some looks, catch some passes, get some yak going. You know, maybe I think that they could do very well, those three. But and then Derrick Henry, I would be I wouldn't be so worried now because he's had the whole off season now to kind of recuperate. He's been posting a lot of videos of him working out like he always likes to do because he's a freaking monster athlete and he does crazy ass workouts. The dude's a beast. I wouldn't be as worried now. I think he'll be fine. But if it was just recently kind of happened and he didn't get another game under his belt and play a bunch of snaps in that game, I'd be a little bit worried. But I wouldn't be too worried about Derrick Henry. I think he'll be fine. The whole line situation, though, with that, getting rid of those guys, I think it's going to take some work to get that chemistry built up and then being able to make that line work for a guy like Derrick Henry. And then that defense, like Dylan was saying, it's amazing. Harold Landry, Jeffrey Simmons, I think Kevin Byard, right? Yep, Kevin Byard, Amani Hooker. I think Caleb Farley might have a breakout year. He might get a little bit better from last year. And then the other corner, Christian Fulton, maybe he can have another decent year. And that defense is nice. So hopefully they can play kind of how they did last year to get that 12-5 record.
Yeah, I think they'll get worse, but not like bad. Like I think they're gonna win around 10 to 12 games. That's kind of where I have like my idea for them. I just think that they really played like above what they were actually playing like last year.
Yes.
Like they did very well and won games that they shouldn't have been winning, but they were just winning. They were just playing really good. Even without Derrick Henry, it was impressive. Having Derrick Henry back, I'm not really worried about his injury. It's a random like break, random fracture or whatever in his foot. That's totally like that's not something that like reoccurs. It's not like a muscle damage or ligament damage. Like, you know, it's healed, and he's fine, right? He's broke his leg before. He's come back and he's fine. As far as like the AJ Brown thing goes, we were all talking about it, but I honestly think like I hate the addition by subtraction kind of thing. But AJ Brown is an elite wide receiver, right? And I think you guys should have just paid him. Because if you went in with Robert Woods, AJ Brown, and Kyle Phillips, that's a lot better. But trading him away, and then you're getting Robert Woods, Kyle Phillips, Treylon Burks, Nick Westbrook. Like, now it's not just one player you're worried about on the offense, like one guy that you're trying to go to spread the ball around. I think that they can move the ball passing wise through like a group instead of just a a player. They have a better wide receiver group overall than what they did last year. Especially since the fact that every one of the wide receivers in that class got paid. I don't understand why AJ Brown didn't from them. That just didn't really make much sense. But there's probably something going on behind the scenes that we don't get to know about. And then yeah, I'm excited. They're just one of those really good teams that are really well coached, and you can never take them for granted because they will smack you in the mouth. But yeah, apart from that, if you guys have made it to the end of this video, we do greatly appreciate it. Make sure you guys smash that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so you're notified when we make more videos. Titans fans, in the comments down below, let us know what you guys are excited about. And apart from that, we'll catch you guys for videos later. Deuces.
Peace out.